Welcome to Ready Set RC, and back again, we are at the top 5 for the year.
Subscribe now.
We've been doing this now for 3 years. This one's the top 5 for 2023. For you guys that are not familiar with this, we do an honorable mention, and then we go right into the top 5 RCs for 2023. 2023, for me at least, has been somewhat of a sluggish year. It hasn't been as banner as 2021 and 2022, but still, the hobby is growing, and that's the key part to all of this. So let's kick this off, go into the honorable mention. And in no particular order, we're gonna start off with the Traxxas Rustler Ultimate. Yes, guys, I know the Rustler 4x4, it's been out for a while, and the Ultimate has been an issue for a lot of folks coming from the new releases of the Traxxas X-Max and the Traxxas XRT. But the true essence of the Ultimate is for the Slash and for the Rustler. I think this is where Traxxas really shines in putting just the right parts that are needed on the Rustler and also for the Slash. This for me is my first Rustler, so I thought if I was gonna go into a Rustler, 4x4 or 2-wheel drive, best way to go into it is with an Ultimate. They put just the right amount of metal needed in the areas for the Rustler. I like the Rustler because I like the compact size. I like cars that I can just grab and go. A lot of cars that I have, they require 2 packs. This is a single pack, 3S rated RC, and I think it's perfect for those type of RCs that you want to run on-road or off-road, can handle anything. Next up, we're gonna go to the only mini vehicle on this list was the Arrma Granite Grom. And this, at the time of this video, this is only being sold at hobby stores. As of January 1, it will now be sold online. But guys, if you haven't checked out the Granite Grom, it is by far a phenomenal RC. It is tough, it is brushed. Actually, it's the only one brushed on this list, but it is a great brushed RC. It has a lot of power. A lot of guys want to hop up the Grom as soon as they get it. I don't think you need to. I think this is a great RC for a beginner and for the enthusiast. I think it's something that if you have not checked it out at your local hobby shop, go ahead and do so. And the last on the honorable mentions, one that a lot of you guys probably have not heard of, is going to be the Yikong TB7. And this for me is the first Yikong I have ever owned, and by far has completely surprised me with its durability and its power. This thing is 6S capable. I probably would say that you don't need to run it on 6S. 4S is more than enough. It's one of those scale type RCs that you want to drive. Independent front suspension, solid rear axle. Gives you a lot of that scale realism in driving. And surprising enough, I took it off the ramps and it handled very well, guys. A lot better than a lot of the other solid rear axle, independent front suspension vehicles that I've owned. And I own quite a few of them. And this, I gotta say, was one of the better ones.
It's showtime.
Oh boy, guys, now's that final moment. Let's get into the top 5. And starting off with number 5 is going to be the FSR Model GT. And if you guys have been watching this channel, especially from the beginning of this year, I've talked highly about this on-road car. It is really a car that I feel is one of the solid GTs out there. A lot of the other RCs that are 1/7 scale, they're like one-trick ponies. They do fast, and that's pretty much it. But I think this car was perfect for me. It was a parking lot basher. I was allowed to sit there, power slide out the back. If I wanted a little bit more speed, it gave it to me. This is perfect out there for you guys that are looking for something similar like that. Not everybody wants to do the go fast, speed runs and all that other stuff. Some folks like the parking lot bash like myself, and this one I thought was probably the best one out there. A lot of the other ones that I own, suspension's a little stiff. Sometimes they're, as I said, they're one-trick ponies, but this gave me a little bit of everything. At number 4, we're gonna go to the FTX DR8. And I gotta say, this one was another shocker. Has to be one of those RCs. If you pick this thing up, you would probably say it's gonna be one of your best RCs that you ever owned. Gotta say, guys, this one surprised me. It is a larger RC. If you guys are familiar with Team Associates Nomad DB8, it's an older RC, no longer in production. This is what this is like. For you guys who missed out on the Nomad DB8, which I was one of them, I had to get the DR8. Not a new RC at all, but new to me. And I gotta say, guys, I am happy with the FTX DR8. Comes in a lot of different flavors. If you watch the video that I have for the FTX DR8, I list those other RCs out there in that video. Go and check it out if you have not. But the FTX DR8 was definitely one of those stunners for me for 2023. At number 3, we have the Team Corrali Asuga. Yes, it is a extra large buggy. By far, this should be a class that every manufacturer starts to incorporate in their lineup. Right now, it's only Team Corrali. I gotta say, guys, it is the highlight of their lineup. It is the best RC that Team Corrali currently puts out, and that's saying a lot for me. I like the Kronos XTR, and I also like the Skeeter, but something about the Asuga was a solid RC. It is 6S rated. The one I bought was a roller, so you had to put in your own electronics, and that's the other flavor I liked about it with this one. Outside of their XTR lineup, this was the first roller that Team Corrali had sold, and I was thoroughly surprised that they went this route, because this is something that a lot of companies need to start incorporating, because a lot of people do not want the stock electronics. Team Corrali actually listened to folks and came out with rollers, and that's what they've been doing since going forward.
This is the worst.
Oh boy, guys, we're down to the last 2, and this is where my heart is pumping, because the last 2 has to be the best releases of 2023. If this was not under your tree, on your wish list, stop what you're doing. Yeah, watch the rest of this video and go out and pick up one of these RCs. If you haven't picked them up, at least go out and check out some videos on YouTube on it. If not mine, someone else's videos, because these last 2 are going to be the best RCs for 2023. At number 2, we have the Arrma Mojave 4S. Yes, 4S, not the 6S. And I gotta say, it, to me, trumped the 6S. The 6S, to me, was my most favorite Arrma. 4S is now that RC. This thing can take a jump. Yeah, you're gonna have those folks, don't jump the Mojave. But guess what? They're the same folks that were jumping the 6S. So, screw you. So, forget that. Don't listen to them. Drive your Mojave the way you want to drive your Mojave, because I'm telling you, it can take it. It handles the speed of 4S. I threw in my Gen Ace packs on this, and it felt even faster than it was on my other packs that I like to run. Guys, the Mojave 4S is by far one of the best Arrmas ever to be released. And it is surprising enough, it's not a metal chassis. It's not this 6S vehicle that everybody likes to jump on. It's 4S, it's 8th scale, and it's the best RC that Arrma has in its lineup. Okay, we're down to number 1. And I gotta say, guys, I've watched a few of these top 5s for 2023. I'm really disappointed at anyone's list that does not have this one. If not at number 1, at least at number 2. I've seen some lists that didn't even have this RC in it. And I gotta say, if that's the case, it's not a real list, because there is only one RC that needs to be the number 1 RC.
Number 1.
And that's the Losi Promoto MX. This thing brought back innovation in the RC. Yes, we've seen moto RCs in the hobby before, but not like this. I've shown other motorbikes on my channel, and you can see it does not perform like the Promoto MX. Guys, this is the best release in a long time. And if you have not seen the Promoto MX in person at your local hobby shop, you're missing out on something. That hobby shop needs to redo what they're doing, because I'm telling you right now, the Promoto MX is the best release for 2023. It is all worth worth the hype. And you do not need to load it up with optional parts on there. That is not what you need to do. It is good as it is stock. Now, I do wish at some point they release a street bike. Losi somebody releases a street bike, but the Promoto MX is the best RC for 2023. And I debate anyone to put any RC as either number 1 or number 2, and the Promoto MX is not on that list. To me, that is not a real list. That is a fugazi list, period. Guys, we're gonna leave it here. Hit the like button, subscribe, put a comment down below.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
I'd love to know, what are your top 5s for 2023? I don't care if you like or dislike my list. This is my list. Let me see what you guys think are your top 5 for 2023. As you know, I don't put the conventional RCs always on my top 5 and my honorable mention. I put stuff that has been on my channel that I have ran. I don't put cars that I do not run on my top 5. And hopefully you guys have checked out the videos on all of these RCs on my channel. Looking forward to a more recovery year for 2024 as we keep pushing this hobby onward and forward and better every year. But this is Ready Set RC signing out. Thanks again, guys.